One sec. All right, I'm recording.
I'm recording.
Me too.
You're listening to episode number 50 of the Station 71 podcast. My name is Mario, and I'm joined this week by my co-hosts,
Beth,
Brian,
and Kirsten.
So we decided to take a little bit of a break from our super history in-depth episodes. We're going to do everyone's favorite game of Walt Disney World superlatives. But first, as always, is Station 71 tradition. We're going to start with the news. So I think we talked a little bit about this a couple weeks ago. The digital key feature is now going to be available at all Walt Disney World Resort hotels. For those of you that don't know, you have the option to unlock your hotel doors and certain common areas in the hotels that are restricted to resort guests using a Bluetooth feature from the My Disney Experience app. And that was only available to select Walt Disney World resorts, but within the near future, we're going to be seeing it rolling out to every Walt Disney World resort. I don't think anyone's really surprised by this, are we?
I mean, I didn't even know it was the thing, so... Like, think of how far we've come. When I was little, I remember going to, like, hotels and getting an actual key.
right?
And now, not only do we have cell phones that fit in our pockets and, like, we can really video chat people, like in Xenon, we can unlock doors with our phones. Like, what the heck?
Well, it's funny because... like I went to lunch with my mom and my aunt the other day, and my aunt pulled a key to the world card out of her purse, and I was like, wow, talk about some technology there.
I still have all mine. I don't collect things. I'm a big minimalist, but I do have all of my key to the world cards, including my one club level that's yellow, not like bluish purple.
So my question to you guys, I know that this article says that this isn't the way yet, but do you think that this feature will kind of start to eliminate the Magic Band system anytime soon?
Nah, I doubt it. And the main reason is because I think Disney makes a good bit of money selling extra Magic Bands, like the special edition ones and just the ones with different prints on them for people to buy. And I don't think they're going to eliminate a cash cow for no reason.
Well, maybe not eliminate them. That may have been the wrong word, but do you think that Disney will stop giving the complimentary ones if they have this feature installed in the app?
That is a good question.
I can see that. Or maybe going back to just the gray like they had at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
something Bob Iger would do.
I think that they also maybe will keep giving out the like complimentary ones because people will link their credit card to it, and speaking from experience, it's really easy to spend money when your wallet is on your wrist and you don't actually see the money that you're spending.
That's a really good point.
That's true.
I do like this feature though. I know the last time I was at a hotel with a group, as we were going in and out, we were all like, okay, does everybody have their Magic Band? Or we go to the pool or something, and we, somebody might have forgotten their Magic Band. It's like, oh, well, let me borrow yours when I go back to the room and everything. It's nice to have one other option to be able to unlock the door if you do leave.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too, because I hate taking my Magic Band like to the pool and stuff with me, but I feel weird if I don't have my phone. So that's kind of nice. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's still kind of a security thing.
That's funny because I was the total opposite. Like when I went to the pool, I was super excited that I didn't have to take my phone because I'm always like, I'm that person that is suspicious of everyone. Like if I leave my phone sitting, they're going to take it kind of thing. And also just, a phone being around a pool makes me, I don't know, nervous. So I was really excited to just be able to have my room key and my wallet on my wrist for the pool bar.
Yeah, I agree. I probably wouldn't leave my phone, but like the idea of leaving my phone behind, I guess it would depend on who I was with, is really nice. So I would want to keep the Magic Band for that.
For sure.
So next up on our news topics this week is that Pandora, the world of Avatar, has made Time's top 100 places to visit. Anybody surprised about this one too?
Like that.
What was that?
Then why do they have to draw attention to it like that?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't been to the parks in several months, so I don't know if it's died down at all, but it seems that it's getting pretty, like, easy to get fast passes for especially Flight of Passage now, so it seems like maybe the hype has died a little bit.
I'm so excited that I have a trip booked in like a couple months down the road now from now. And I feel like I'm going to actually be able to get the fast passes I want in Pandora. That just makes me feel so happy. But
yeah, the only problem is that you can't do both because of the tiers. But I mean, you could do it on different days.
That's true. I didn't think about that. And we are going to be there for 7 days. So
honestly, though, if you are able to get one for Flight of Passage, rope dropping, Navi River Journey is almost essentially a walk-on.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Plus, Navi River Journey's not as good.
But you have to see the shaman.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I'm not saying by any means don't ride it. If you know you had each one in a hand, you got an obvious advantage over for Flight of Passage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do think it's a little unfair, though, just kind of an aside, that everybody has very closely compared Navi River Journey and Flight of Passage, but nobody in Toy Story Land is comparing the Swirling Saucers to the Slinky Dog Coaster and being like, oh, I don't know, Swirling Saucers just doesn't live up to Slinky Dog Coaster. It's like, yeah, they're two completely different tiers of attractions.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I think that's because we knew kind of what we were getting with them before we got them. Like,
that's a good point.
Even the concept art of like Swirling Saucers was like, okay, it's a teacup style-ish ride. But I don't know. So our third news story is that Epcot's Frozen Ever After ride leads Disney for the most evacuation calls. A report came out this week from the Reedy Creek Fire Department listing the top 10 numbers of evacuations from July 27th, 2016 to July 18th, 2018. And Frozen Ever After leads the list with 113 evacuation calls, followed by Pirates of the Caribbean with 72, Space Mountain with 64, Cali River Rapids with 44, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh with 33, Barnstormer with 32, Peter Pan's Flight with 31, Splash Mountain 21, Midway Mania 16, and Spaceship Earth with 15. So let's talk about how weird it is that there's a very large margin between Frozen Ever After and Pirates of the Caribbean.
I think it's interesting that 3 of the 4 top rides are water.
I didn't realize that.
I have no problem evacuating a ride that's on the ground, but that would freak me out so bad, having to evacuate one of these rides.
I think being evacuated from Spaceship Earth would freak me out the most.
I think Small World would get me because, dolls are going to come to life.
All I know is if I had to sit on It's a Small World and wait for the evacuation people to come get me, I would never get on that ride ever again.
Oh my God, right?
Oh boy.
But yeah, I wonder what the deal is.
Body construction, because they wanted to get it open as fast as humanly possible to cash in on all that Frozen, euphoria.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Good point.
I doubt that's it, but I'm feeling very cynical tonight.
Well, but even if, the ride system wasn't updated at all, I don't ever remember hearing about Maelstrom breaking down this often.
Me either.
Yeah, I don't.
Have y'all ever been evacuated on a Disney ride?
Nope.
I wish.
Space Mountain.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I've never even gotten to ride it with the lights on, and I worked there for 7 months.
I got stuck on it with the lights on.
That sounds horrifying.
Evacuated and then put immediately back on it.
Man.
You don't sound too thrilled about that either.
No, it was actually pretty cool because I'm sorry. It was actually an exciting experience because it broke down right before the car went to the unloading station, but we were still inside the actual, I guess, the ride part of it. So we stopped. The lights came on. We were able to see everything. We waited for probably 15 minutes. Finally came and evacuated us and gave us a, basically free fast pass to use wherever, and we immediately got right back on. So
when was this? Like how long
this
ago?
was years ago. I was probably only 10 or so. So 15 plus years.
Dang. I think it would be like I would probably think it was really cool to get evacuated on any ride as long as I didn't feel like super unsafe on it.
Yeah.
It's definitely got to be an experience.
I'm really surprised that as often as I go, that's the only time. Because I hear a lot of other people that live in Florida that go pretty frequently talk about happening to them all the time. But it's only happened at one time for me.
I feel like I definitely missed out when I lived there. Everest, that would be fun to get evacuated on.
Oh gosh.
Ooh, that would be depending on where.
Yeah.
Right.
I feel like there's some spots where I would just be like, no, just let me stay here till you fix it. I don't want to walk down that.
I've never gotten actually evacuated on a ride, but as many times as I've gotten stuck on Haunted Mansion, I'm surprised it's not on this list.
I think can you even ride Haunted Mansion without getting stopped at least twice?
No.
Right. But I guess that's probably more of a people sticking their hands out trying to touch stuff thing than an actual safety hazard.
I think they have to stop it sometimes to load wheelchair guests instead of just doing it as fast as some of the others do. That's my personal theory, but
that would make sense though.
Yeah.
The one thing that I hate though is the Haunted Mansion is set up really, really well for if it has to stop. They already have the narration and everything, and it always kills me when one of the cast members that has to announce that the ride's starting back is just not into it. Because it's like this setup is already laid out there perfectly for them. When the narrator comes over and it's like, your Doom buggy will start moving immediately, and they're like, yeah, the ride's starting back. And then it just takes back on. Come on, man.
Yeah. That's funny.
So the last news topic that we have this week is that D23 Expo 2019 ticket prices were announced, and tickets are also now available. If you're a D23 Gold member, you can get 3-day tickets at the early bird price of $177. After November 20th, they'll be $219. Wow. 1-day ticket for early bird will be $67, and the after November 20th will be $79. Anyone that isn't a D23 Gold member will have to pay $250 for a 3-day ticket and $90 for a 1-day ticket. The article in here says that Sorcerer packages for members priced at $2,500 are still available. At this time that we are recording, they are actually sold out.
When is D23 for this year?
They do it every other year, so they're selling for 2019.
Oh, okay.
Which is crazy because it's actually a year in advance from today, the day that we're recording this, which is the 23rd. And packages are already sold out. That's crazy to me.
I was looking at the Sorcerer packages because I didn't even know what it was at first. I didn't even know how much it cost or what it entailed. But my boyfriend called me and was like, "Hey, did you see the D23 tickets went on sale?" And I was like, "Oh snap, let me go look." And he's like, "Yeah, apparently the Sorcerer tickets or Sorcerer packages are already sold out." And I was like, "What's that?" And I was just I felt kind of bummed inside, even though I didn't know exactly what it was. But then I was like, $2,500? I was not going to buy that anyway. So
what are they?
So basically from what I read is the big perk is that you get a special entrance and reserved seating at every panel.
Oh, wow.
But other than that, it's basically you get to go shop in the like hall early. Like one of the days, you get a lounge and some like commemorative merchandise.
No, that lounge better include like Joe Rohde, and Bob Iger and like a dunk tank.
I was
Oh my
waiting for that. As soon
God.
as she said Bob Iger, I was like, where's she putting him? Is he in like a clown suit, a dunk tank?
Yeah, it just said the lounge, they're going to have like snacks and coffee available throughout the day. And then there was one thing that said meet and greet with a special Disney guest. So I wonder who that's going to end up being.
They probably don't know yet.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you guys this. Who would you pay, not this premium, but who would you pay a premium for if it was like a special meet with that guest? Is there any specific Disney person that you would really pay a good sum of money to meet with?
It has to be a Disney person.
I mean, I know you're going to say Cher, but
Can we say Walt? Does it have to be a Disney person?
I was going to say living because I feel like I would maybe Joe Rohde.
I
I
would
would
say
definitely-
Joe Rohde,
yeah.
definitely.
If I had
Yeah.
$500 to spare, I would, yes, absolutely 100% Joe Rohde. And Tony Baxter.
That's a good one. I'm gonna edit this out, but I looked up Joe Rohde's contact information because it's all over the internet.
Oh,
And he specifically says don't contact him about Disney questions. So I was like, oh, there goes that one.
What are we supposed to contact him about?
What was that?
What are we supposed to contact him about then?
Conservation projects and stuff like
Ah.
that.
I'm
'Cause
into
I-
it.
Well, I looked up because his website has like a whole list of like where you can contact him and like articles about his world adventures and conservation things. And there was a thing that was like, feel free to contact me about any like press information. I was like, oh, okay. That's an interesting like foot in the door. I know we're kind of small, but maybe he would, throw us a bone or something. But then it said like I'm not able to talk about any Disney projects. I want to separate myself as much as I can from the Disney company outside of working for them. And I was like, that's really kind of weird.
That is strange. As passionate as he seems about the projects he's done at Disney.
I think it's just because like,
probably overwhelming.
yeah. And he also probably can't give anything away. He's probably under like a really strict NDA.
Oh, I'm sure, but just to word it like that comes off as kind of weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Since you're editing this out, the eyes are finally closed.
Woo. So
Oh, the baby. I was like, what?
We speak in code around Beth, so she doesn't know what we're talking about.
I was like, the eagle has landed.
Yeah.
So with that wrapping up our news topics, are we ready to dive into the superlatives?
Let's do it.
I feel like
been a
it's-
while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's been a while since we've done the superlatives episode.
Mm-hmm.
So first up on our list of superlatives, we have most well-told story.
Man.
Anybody want to go first for that one?
I know we said we're taking a break from research, but I feel like I could have thought this one through for a while.
Do you want me to skip that one and we can come back to it?
Now, hang on. Is this a whole movie, or is this an attraction, or is this part of a movie?
Let's say attraction, but it can be like IP, original attraction, anything that you want it to be. Or even if you don't want it to be an attraction, just something in the Disney parks.
Hmm.
This is tough.
Yeah, I think we need to think on this.
Okay, we'll skip that one and we'll come back. I'll move that to the bottom of our list here. Next one that we have on the list is most likely to become extinct in the next 5 years.
I think
Tomorrowland
this is gonna be-
Speedway, please,
Yes,
God.
like, we all of us saying what we want to become extinct, and that's at the top of my list.
I have two on here. One that I don't think is going to happen that I really want to happen, which is Tomorrowland Speedway. And then one that I don't want to happen, but I kind of see coming, which is the Swiss Family Treehouse.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Um,
Wow, for once we're on the same page.
Really? Because I thought you would want the treehouse gone.
I mean, I don't. Well, okay, I'm more like neutral than you, but I can definitely see it going and making room for something else,
Yeah.
like a Moana ride, or I don't know.
And I like it, but something better could go in the space. I'm definitely not the kind of person that's like, oh, is it, original, it should stay there. Like it's cool. I like it a lot. I like the kind of, you get to go explore attractions like that, but there's a lot of stuff that can go in that spot.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I like the treehouse also, but I feel like it's super irrelevant now. Like, it's been irrelevant for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Kids don't know what Swiss Family Robinson is.
See, I thought mine was good, but now I'm hearing you guys talk about this. I'm like, yeah, I can see it. I was gonna say Journey into Imagination, but that's just because like it never has a weight. A lot of people that talk about it talk about how they would prefer the old attraction back, and I don't think we're ever gonna get that. But I don't know.
I really think they'll revamp it before they get rid of it.
That's true. I think that they used Figment way too much for them to get rid of it, so maybe that's not a good one.
Yeah, he is kind of like a cult thing now, and he's getting more popular, I feel like. I think all of this like small shop and like all of this niche stuff that you can get from these places on Instagram and Etsy and whatever, I think that's really helped with like the unknown characters, like, Orange Bird. Everybody knows who that is now, and Figment, whereas in the past that wasn't really something that you could find in the parks, much less anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the small shops have helped bring light to a lot of less popular characters, I think.
Yeah, I can see. I don't think it'll become extinct, but I think they could definitely do something a lot better with Tom Sawyer Island. I personally love Tom Sawyer Island, but it's like so much space that could handle so many people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's definitely not utilized like it could be. And I think since the parks are just getting more and more and more and more crowded, or it feels like it at least, they would be smart to do something there.
Yeah. Do kids still read the book in school?
I thought you were going to stop at do kids still read, and I was about to say probably not.
I mean, that's a good question too, but
they need to come out with the Tom Sawyer app. That'll get them interested in it again.
I don't know. Did y'all have to read that in school?
I don't remember having to read that in school, but I feel like I probably did.
I'm pretty sure I did not.
I don't think I did.
Is it the one that's like super racist? Or am I thinking of something else?
I think so. I think the original like versions have words that we would no longer use. If you're a good person, you wouldn't use.
Yeah, that leads me to believe that they probably don't read this in schools. So again, kind of going back to the relevancy, I think you're right.
Edit them because like some of the original Nancy Drews were a little racist, but now they've just kind of edited that part out and changed it.
I did not know that.
I was just thinking if they do get rid of it, then they would have to do something completely different with the riverboat too.
That's what I was thinking. That would be hard, and I don't know if it'll happen, but
I also don't know if the riverboat has as much staying power either.
I feel. Go ahead.
I've never ridden it.
See, and I literally have only been on it once, and it was a few trips ago that I was like, I've never done this. I'm going to do this. Like, I don't know if it's going to be worth my time, but I'm going to do it just to, say I did it. And I actually like really enjoyed it. Like, I didn't realize that there's narration on it the whole time and that you pass by like little different scenes and stuff. And I thought it was actually pretty cool. And I think that if they rethemed the like scenes that you pass by in like coordination with retheming Tom Sawyer Island, that it would be a lot more popular.
Yeah, I actually was planning on writing it this last time. We walked over, but they had it closed for like a special event or something. So
I heard they were just doing a massive refurbishment on the track for it. So I mean, I guess it has a little bit of staying power, but still, if they were going to take Tom Sawyer Island, I wouldn't, not see them taking this too.
I don't understand why they don't just do Princess and the Frog.
Well,
yeah.
they do that dessert party.
But I mean, like, why don't they make Tom Sawyer Island into the bayou and make all of the scenes that you float by on the riverboat related to Princess and the Frog?
I would actually be completely okay with that.
I would
That would
be
be really
more than okay with that. I mean, and it works. Like, it would fit.
Yeah, I think we're slightly off time period, but I think it would still work with the theming overall.
I also think Disney likes to forget about Princess and the Frog.
Stupid. Anyway.
So do we want to move on to the next one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next one is best place to survive a zombie apocalypse on Walt Disney World property. I have an answer for this one. I know it's not obviously realistic because zombies, but also price point. But I'm going to say I think I would probably try to hunker down in like a Polynesian bungalow or one of the tree houses. Because you're high up, you have a little bit of coverage so you can see what's coming at you. And there's really only like one way in and out, and that's that ramp. Realistically, I don't know how far away it is from like food and stuff, so I don't know how survivable that would be. But that was my thought process when I put this in here.
I'm going to say the Royal Suite in Cinderella Castle because even regular people don't know how to get to it, so zombies definitely aren't going to be able to figure it out.
And if you die happy.
Exactly.
Well, okay, I have two. I would either say the Utilidors because it's so easy to get lost down there, and like from what I hear, zombies are dumb, right? And there's like plenty of food down there. Like we've legit talked about how you could probably go down there with like a sleeping bag and secretly live. Like I've talked to my friend who still works there. We were roommates, and I was like, dude, like just get me in one day. I'm just gonna take a sleeping bag and I'll just eat like survive off of tomatoes from Pecos Bill's like, salad bar thing, like toppings bar. Like it'll be great. So I'm pretty sure you could serve, and there's like a kitchen down there for employees, like a cafeteria. So yeah, you could live down there for a while. Or else I would say the Ticket and Transportation Center, like in the offices back there, because I worked there, and so you handle a lot of money. You'd be amazed at how many people still pay for tickets in cash. And so it's very, very locked down. There's like codes to get in every door and stuff like that. You'd have to bring food in, but nobody's getting in there.
I feel like you have
an
like
advantage.
Yeah, exactly. You have insider information.
Sorry.
And the only reason I would disagree with you about the Utilidors is, well, I disagree and I agree at the same time. I feel like someone that is familiar with them would be able to survive down there. But someone like me who has a terrible sense of direction and has only been down there once on a tour, I would get lost and probably run directly into zombies.
And it would be hard to like completely barricade it because the whole back end is just open. I mean, a bus drives back there. So that is a good point, but I have faith in my abilities.
Maybe it's just because it's fresh on the mind, but I think I'm going to go with the fort on Tom Sawyer Island. I mean, it's already set up for defense, so...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, zombies can't swim, right?
And there are like alligators that you could shoot and eat.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
That was a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. I honestly put that in there as a joke, but Brian was like, I like that one. So next one we have is best soundtrack.
This is hard.
Do we want to go back to most well-told story, or have we not been thinking about that one?
This always happens. I feel like the ones we leave for later, we don't think about them when we're thinking about the other ones.
I have an answer for most well-told story, so I don't mind going back to that one. But if y'all would rather do best soundtrack, that's fine.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to think on either one of these. So if you've got well-told story ready to go.
I mean, this is such a cop-out, but Tower of Terror. Like, it just is, from everything, like walking up and the music, and it's like an old like, it's just perfect. I think that's why all of us love it so much, is because the theming is so good, and it is like they get every part of it right.
Yeah, that's true. I would have thought a cop-out would have been something like, I don't know, one of the attractions that's based solely on retelling the story of a movie.
See, that's what I was thinking, and when you were saying, you know, if we were going to set rules for this, because if you think of something like Journey of the Little Mermaid, I mean, it's basically just retelling the same story from The Little Mermaid.
But they don't do it in a good way.
That's true.
See, and that's where I kind of was separating it too, is like, you could argue for Peter Pan, but even that's like, you kind of just fly by the scenes of the movie. I don't think that that's well told enough.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a hard one, and I put this in here.
So I'm actually going to say Flight of Passage. I feel like it definitely borrows from Pandora as far as the storytelling, but it branches off of it. It doesn't follow along the plot, but it also, I think, you know, from the beginning, they lay out the story very well, and they walk you through exactly what you're doing. And, you know, from start to end, you know what the story is. You don't have to do any digging. You live through the story, essentially.
I wish that I had. Are you saying that based on the normal queue, the standby?
Well, even disregarding the queue, just from
the actual ride part.
From the pre-shows through the end of the ride.
I can see that.
But even with the queue too, you know, since it's based basically in the future from when Pandora the movie was, like, they do a good job, I feel like, you know, telling the story through the queue as well.
Yeah, I would even take it a step further and say that they do a good job of telling the story in the entire land.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time with this one because, like, my brain wants to default and say Expedition Everest. Ooh. Because I feel like that one's a really cohesive story, but I don't feel like there's a lot to it.
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I was thinking. Like, I'm going to say that that's my answer. But you know, you go through the queue and you're given all of the lore about the Yeti. So if you really want to follow it, like, all the way through, you could read all the signs and everything. But the buildup of the queue we've talked about is nice enough that it kind of builds the suspense for what's to come. And then when you go through the actual attraction, you know, you're fearing the Yeti. And then I'm not going to walk through the ride, but it builds up enough suspense that I think that this is a really well told story too.
Well, and I think it's very innovative in the way the actual ride is done, you know, that you're going forwards and then you have like the tracks that are stopped and then you back up, but then you see the Yeti. Like, it's like a lot of rides like that, I guess, like more thrill rides, the story is done in the pre-show. And it is also on Everest, but they've also done a really good job of actually incorporating story and, like, this is what's happening to you on the ride.
That's true, because like you were saying, even Rock and Roller Coaster gives you all the story in the pre-show, and then it's just a roller coaster.
Yeah.
Did we miss anyone?
I mean, I just kind of piggybacked on Brian's comments, but
Do you have one?
this is really tough. But for some reason, my heart is wanting me to give a shout out to Phantasmic because I feel like it does a really good job of bringing in well-known Disney characters and making them work together based on the concept of it being all in Mickey's imagination. But maybe that's just me being biased because I love Phantasmic.
No, I can see that.
Yeah.
Surprised Kirsten didn't say wishes.
Oh, they don't tell it anymore because they all suck.
So best soundtrack?
Oi.
I have one.
I have a total cop out one, but
Are you gonna say PhilharMagic?
yep.
I knew it. That wasn't gonna be my answer, but
So does it have to be an attraction?
Yeah, I was automatically thinking movie. I guess since we've talked about movies 2 weeks in a row, that's where my brain is going.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought of an attraction that has a really good soundtrack that I love, and that's the original Soarin'. I'm gonna pretend that the new one doesn't exist, but I love the Soarin' soundtrack.
I should have saved Phantasmic for this one.
I mean, it works for this too. This, I think, Wishes is definitely the right answer. Clearly. Does that count? But also Spectro Magic.
Okay.
I've never seen it.
Missing out.
I've heard the
I have
soundtrack.
heard-
That's about
I've
it.
heard it's great.
I have it on a CD.
I have wishes on a CD, so I can agree with your wishes comment.
And I used to listen to it. It's what, like a 14-minute CD. I used to listen to it whenever I was in college, driving back to my hometown. Took me 6 hours. I would listen to it literally all the way. Like,
Wow.
yeah.
That's some love. I mean, I've played the Witches CD on loop like 3 times in a row, but not 6 hours.
No, like 6 hours. And still, if I put it in, Will's like, okay, you have to take it out now. Because I was from South Carolina all the way to Disney World. He's like, please change this.
That's funny.
Oh.
Am I the only person that really enjoyed the music from Main Street Electrical Parade?
No.
Yeah.
I love it.
Kirsten.
It
Terrible.
is so catchy. Every time I think about it, it gets stuck in my head.
It makes me want to stab myself.
Wait, this is really off topic, but I have a question that I have to ask, and I don't know if we've discussed it. I know Kirsten hates the Main Street Electrical Parade, but how do you feel about the electric water pageant?
Absolutely love it.
Terrible.
I've never watched it.
You're not missing anything.
I mean, it's not as good as the Main Street Electrical Parade was, but
No, but I have
They're
such
both
fond
crap.
memories of it as a kid.
Trash rides.
I had a feeling she was going to
Trash
say that.
attractions.
Oh. So anyone else best soundtrack? Did we miss anyone?
I don't think so. Okay, best movie soundtrack. Can we say that one too?
Ooh.
Sure.
Princess and the Frog.
I feel like this is just going to be
Really?
straight up bias.
You have Howard Ashman, Alan Menken, Phil Collins, and
Randy Newman.
no.
Oh god, no.
Wow.
Uh,
Not his voice, but his music. It's different. I think the Princess and the Frog soundtrack is incredible because every single song on it is good and helps tell the story better.
I think it's a
and
good
jazz.
soundtrack. Just not the best.
And it mixes so many different styles of music. I really enjoyed that.
I feel like my answer is definitely a cop out, but Beauty and the Beast, for sure. It's just, and I'm also feeling nostalgic because we've talked so much about Howard and Alan the past couple weeks. And I would say second is Lion King.
Yeah, I'm going with Lion King.
I mean, Elton.
Man, I'm rooting for the underdog here. I'm going to say Hercules.
Yeah, we knew that one
that's
was
a really
coming.
good one too.
Not surprising, but
I had never seen Hercules till like a few years ago, but it's one of my. I really like it now.
It's like one of my favorite Disney movies.
I will say that Hercules is, I think, definitely best for songs that you want to like belt in the car by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And honestly, until I saw it, I didn't realize that like kind of the main theme of Wishes was from Hercules. And so I think that's partial. I was like, oh my God, this is like the music that I love.
For you, it was, oh, this is from Wishes. And then for me, it was, oh, this is from Hercules.
I mean, I just am like embarrassingly not hip on some of the movies.
That's okay. Can we do the Disney trend you hate the most? Because I'm ready for Kirsten to fight me on this one.
Ooh.
Oh God.
Yep.
What is it?
I do not like the Instagram walls. I think the concept of having like something that's like Disney community loves is cool, but like, I don't know. It's gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, this needs to stop. That and the millennial pink thing.
That is exactly what I was about to say.
Pink is dumb.
Millennial pink is so dumb. What makes it millennial pink? It just looks like pink to me.
Because they did a study, and that's like apparently the most like liked color.
It's like the whole rose gold trend.
Oh God, the rose gold thing. Jeez.
I will defend rose gold because rose gold is classy looking. Millennial pink is just
ugly,
boring. It's like rose gold is shiny. Millennial pink. Exactly. But millennial pink drives me absolutely nuts. I'll also say I'm getting kind of sick of the trendy cupcakes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Which they also have a millennial pink one of, so maybe that's why it's on the brain.
I don't think y'all are like as into this as I am, and maybe this will be unpopular. Maybe I'm just bitter because Instagram wasn't a thing whenever I worked there, but I feel like I love like the small shop community, and I think that it's so great that like we can buy all of these awesome cool things now that you could not get in, you know, the parks. But the whole like Disney influencer,
oh God, yeah,
kind of like, okay, so I get that you're like a pretty 20-year-old and you live in Orlando, but like you don't need like, yes, you have 30,000 followers on Instagram, but like really, really, like, come on. And they get so much free stuff from all the small shops, and it's just like, oh my God, like I feel like their head, you can just like see from when they have, you know, 5,000 followers to 30,000, like you can just watch their heads grow. And it's like, okay, like let's come back down to the real world. But maybe, like I said, maybe I'm just bitter because like I didn't have that option when I was working there, like whatever. I don't know.
No, I get it. Like the people I like to follow on Instagram that, you know, are associated with Disney are the ones like going and doing stuff in the parks. And I get to see when they're like at the events that I don't get to go to and that kind of stuff. Like I don't care how much Disney merchandise you wear. That's not like, I don't want to follow that all day.
I think that's why I stopped using Instagram. Like, and that may also be part of my hate for the purple wall is like a lot of the people that I've seen with this like fascination for the purple wall and the all the other walls, I'm just attacking the purple wall. But all of the like Disney photogenic spots are literally just driving to the park for that picture. Like it feels like there's nothing else that they do besides like, oh, I was in Disney today, let me snap a selfie at this wall.
I really feel like social media is ruining a lot of things.
Well, I mean, I think it's so much about vanity now more than anything else. And like it started out and like it was just normal pretty girls, but now they all have like the whole, like their makeup is perfect. It's like the Instagram makeup, like where it's flawless and they're wearing these like adorable outfits. But I'm like, okay, but you can't like ride anything or walk around.
Yeah, that's not practical.
Like, come on, let's get real. It's just like the rest of social media, like it's just so unrealistic. It looks so aspirational, but when you really think about it, it's like, this is not real. And so I feel like it makes people who are going on vacation think like, oh, this is what my vacation should look like. This is what I should be wearing. Like, and then you come home and look at your pictures and you just have like normal makeup on and you're wearing like, I don't know, shorts and tennis shoes. And it's like, well, like I'm not going to post these because I don't look as cute as, you know, such and such or whatever.
Yeah, but who had more fun?
That's true.
I know.
Another one that gets on my nerves is, I mean, kind of families wearing the same t-shirt in general.
Oh, yes.
But specifically the ones that wear, like, everyone wears the same shirt for drinking around the world. And
the
it has, like,
checklist?
well, no, it's like the ones that have, like, the little, like, quirky sayings. Like, I'm trying to think of like one off the top of my head, but they're like relevant to princesses or movies. Like they're like popular quotes, but they're reimagined for drinking instead.
Yeah, I just don't think that's like I don't know. I don't think it's in the spirit of Disney in general.
Yeah. Like, okay, I just found an Etsy that has a bunch of them, like Bibbidi Bobbidi Booze.
Yeah.
That's not even creative or.
Can you drink with all the colors of the wine?
What?
They could
a
just
whole
said
new
world.
buzz. And then there's one that says it's like it's a wine glass with a mermaid tail and like red ears, like to look like Ariel, and the phrase is "under the influence" instead of "under the sea."
No.
Like these are so tacky.
I think we should have a whole show about what annoys us. This is fun.
Yeah.
We should
you know, nothing brings people together like hating the same things.
Yep.
You do a Disney Festivus episode. Are there any others that you guys want to do? I know we have a couple on the superlatives tab, and we're like, this is a really short episode so far.
No, but I will say, like, as much as I had just complained about all those Disney influencers, I do like love me some Disney community drama. So if you also like Disney community drama and you know of some, hit me up. Tell me, it will entertain me for hours.
I have to say, I did follow some of that drama the other day that you were telling us about.
Like, makes my life complete because it's not drama I'm involved in, so I just watch.
And I can't think of any other ones on here that I absolutely want to do.
Superlatives?
Yeah.
You're going to cut this, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We already addressed the favorite obscure reference in the parks thing, didn't we?
Possibly.
Like
or did we?
I feel like we brought that up, or we talked about it when we added it to the list. I can't remember.
I mean, if we do best non-ride attraction, we know Brian's going Country Bears.
Yep.
We're going to have to argue about that for 20 minutes.
Best non-ride attraction is watching people get spit on by the camel.
That's a good one.
I think just watching people in general around the parks.
Did I tell y'all that story about the funnel cake lady?
No.
Oh my god, this is literally in like the top 10 funniest moments of my entire life. When I was there in February with my dad and some friends and my boyfriend, we were drinking around the world, and this lady got
cute shirts to do it.
We were not wearing matching t-shirts. But no, this lady had just gotten a funnel cake, and we were walking behind her, and my boyfriend has like crazy, like, I don't know, psychic vibes. I don't know how he does it, but he like leaned over and whispered to me. He's like, dude, that seagull is about to like mess with that lady and her funnel cake. And I kid you not, this seagull, like seconds later, swooped down and stole the entire thing and flew away with it.
What did she do?
She was really mad about it. And I think she just kept walking. I was like, they'll probably give you another one if you tell them what happened. But I was like laughing, like cry laughing at it.
People watching at Disney is such a great thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
Dude, one time some lady yelled at me.
About what?
It was my senior year of high school, and I was there with Will and his family for our senior trip. And somehow we had like gotten done early, so we were waiting for them at the strollers because his cousin had a stroller, blah, blah. And so we were just standing there, and it was like 3:00. It was super hot. And so we're just kind of staring. You know when you like look at someone, but you're not looking at them, you're just kind of staring into space. And so this woman was like screaming at her 2-year-old because he was being bad, I guess. I don't know. And like we're just kind of staring, and I guess we're kind of like looking at her because she's literally the only person around. And then she just started yelling at us about like, why are you staring at me? Like, don't you have anything better to do than besides like watch me? And like it was just like and I was just like snapped out of it, and I was like, what? Like,
jeez.
And then we just kind of looked at each other and we were like, okay, bye, and like left. It was so weird.
That was the last time that you ever people watched.
I wish, like looking back, that I had been like paying attention enough that I would have said something back, because I definitely would. Like, I'm the person who would do that, but I was just so like out of it, and then like shocked that I didn't even know what to do besides like walk away.
Oh gosh.
My favorite people watching experience was watching this woman and her daughter get off of Pirates and walk over to who I assume was her husband and son, waiting for them. And the daughter kept saying, "Mom, I want to ride again. I want to ride again." And this woman was like visibly upset. And I kid you not, like started crying. And it was like a 5-year-old throwing a temper tantrum. And the daughter said, "Mom, I want to go again. I want to go again." And she just goes, "I can't take it anymore." We have ridden Pirates 4 times today. She started stamping her feet. I will not go on.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
that's amazing.
Crying. I was like, man, that is a broken woman right there. She is just done with the trip.
I feel like if I had to ride Small World that many times, I would do that, but not Pirates.
Like some twist of fate, Eli's favorite thing is going to be Country Bears, and that's going to be me.
Oh my god.
That would warm my heart.
You're going to call Brian and be like, "I need you to take him for the day. All he wants to do is ride Country Bears."
It's like the best day ever in the park.
That's awesome.
I can't think of a non-park attraction though. Or non-ride attraction.
Wishes.
Yeah, that's a good one. Too bad it's gone.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could consider all of the shows non-ride attractions.
I would say PhilharMagic. That's
yeah, I was kind of thinking about that too. PhilharMagic's a good one. I also like. I think this is totally nostalgia, because I know that if I went and did it now, it wouldn't be as fun as I wanted it to be. But Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, like, I have a weird nostalgia for that.
I quite enjoy that one.
Yeah, me too. I always like want to get picked as a volunteer, but it hasn't happened yet. Whereas with Flights of Wonder, I could literally get picked almost every time.
Oh, speaking of, did we ever talk about that since they changed it?
No, we didn't actually.
I think it was a news article.
Yeah, I saw it on the news. I was going to add it, but we already had a bunch of news topics this week.
I think we talked about it when it was first announced.
But I don't think we actually like went over the details of it, because I know.
Oh man, it's real bad now.
Oh
I
no!
was so sad. But the news article that I was going to add in today was that it's so bad that they are redoing it. So
Again?
hopefully, yes. So
Wow.
hopefully it'll be much better. It was, man, it was so bad. They were very, very much so just trying to shoehorn like Russell and Doug into the show to get that Disney IP in there. And it was so distracting from like what was going on with the birds. It was like literally, I mean, you know, they have the like Russell and Doug characters, and it's like while the birds are doing something, it's like the Russell and Doug voiceover is happening, and it's like literally taking away from what the birds are doing. And they didn't do the dollar bill trick, and it was just I was pretty disappointed when I went and saw it.
Well,
That's so
that show
upsetting.
is dead to me if they don't do the dollar bill trick anymore.
Yeah.
I do kind of want to see it before it goes away, though. Do you know? Did it say when?
Let me see if I can pull it back up. And I say like it was really bad compared to what it used to be. Like if you never saw the old one, I still think you would enjoy it. I mean, even if you have, you still get to go see the birds do the cool stuff. Just try to focus on the birds.
So it's not like a Jungle Book Alive with magic situation.
No, I mean, it's not that bad. Dear God, nothing's that bad.
Well, the reason I said that is because I was thinking, well, I really want to see that before it closes, because that's the only reason I went to see Jungle Book Alive with magic, is because I heard it was bad and I wanted to see it before it closed.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything will ever be that bad at Disney, but
Oh my gosh.
that was the worst show I've ever seen before in my life.
I'm so glad I just happened to get to see it like while it was running.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed I never got to talk about how bad it was.
I watched the YouTube video. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm more sad that I
being there in
never.
person did not help.
Oh yeah, no. I'm more sad I'll never get to ride Superstar Limo though.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
me too, especially if Cher's in it.
Yeah, according to this, it looks like they're not giving a date. It just says Up, A Great Bird Adventure has been almost universally panned since it debuted back in April in Asia at Disney's Animal Kingdom theme park. Many a guest has cringed from the painful dialogue between live actors and costume characters as the talented wing cast members perform their various acts. Disney has noted and is now having the show rewritten to be funnier and more entertaining. Reportedly, a comedian from outside the company is being brought in to fix the show.
Wow.
Everything up until that point sounded really good. I don't know how I feel about them bringing a comedian from outside the company to fix the show, because it sounds like they're still going to do that voiceover that you were saying kind of kills it.
Yeah.
I was imagining it's like the team that wrote it was so like they messed up so bad. They're like, you guys don't get to write anymore. We're literally bringing someone in from outside of the company. You've messed up so hard.
Well, but see, the thing that kills me and like the whole plot line, I guess if you want to call it that, of what they're doing now is that like Russell and Doug are trying to find Kevin. So they keep saying stuff like they're talking to the people that are running the show, and they're like, oh yeah, we're trying to find Kevin, like he's really tall, and they're like, oh, is he this big? And then they bring out like a really big bird. And they're like, no, but he's got a long beak. Oh, does he have a long beak like this bird? And then they bring out another bird. It's like, stop.
That sounds terrible.
Stop.
I really enjoyed your impersonation. I hope that edit actually sounds like that.
So I was thinking the entire time you were talking about this about non-ride attractions, and my heart broke a little when I thought, I really wish that the Osborne Lights were still around.
Oh, yes. That's a good one.
That would be my answer.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good one.
Like, I understand. Like, I never did before understand why people like going so much to look at them, and I saw them once, and just like seeing them once, having that emotional attachment to it, like it's insane how good they were.
Agree.
I thought I missed something.
Oh, I said while we were talking about birds and stuff, I was thinking about non-park attractions, and my heart broke a little bit when I thought Osborne Family Lights would be cool if it was still around.
Oh yeah, I only went once, and I'm sad I never got to go more, but I'm kind of glad that it's not like yet another thing that I have to miss.
That's what Brian was just saying, and like it makes me so upset because that was like a tradition for us. We went every year when it was up, and it was like it was part of our Disney trip. So having that experience and knowing that I'm missing that now is just like so weird to me.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
I'm thinking they're going to do something like that at Disney Springs. It just has the perfect layout for it. I see it coming.
Crowds.
I really thought, because ABC did a show called The Great Light Fight one year, and I really thought that was their like gauging to see if Osborne Family Lights was going to come back or something similar, and then it just never did, and I'm still upset about it.
See, I think they're just waiting for all the construction and like expansion to be done at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
I just will be surprised if they do something that's free. I don't know how they. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all for them to do something paid, but I don't know how that would work as far as like crowd control.
Well, and the thing that's really funny about it is the Osborne Family Lights had really good crowd control, and all it was just like an open section of street with a bunch of, well, I say that like that's not spectacular, but it was the open section of street, and it was just a lot of lights around it, and it was just such a big space that it could hold a large amount of people, and a lot of times the fact that the crowd was there kind of deterred everyone away from it already.
Yeah.
So let's do one more before we wrap this up. Is there anyone on here that anyone wants to pick?
Are you going to try to figure out a way to put parts of what we were talking about in?
What?
Just like I feel like that, like the last 10 minutes has just been us like shooting the shit.
Oh, I was going to put all of that in there.
Really?
Yeah, because
okay,
it worked. Well, up until we were like, oh yeah, let's not talk about that.
Up until Beth said shit.
Yeah.
This is a family-friendly podcast, Beth.
Yeah, I definitely cut that part out.
Well, I mean, with all the edits and everything, this is still probably going to be under an hour.
I feel like we used to have a list of the like keep, refurbish, demolish, but I can't find it. Because I thought it might be fun to throw a couple of those in.
Oh, yeah, I do like those.
I feel like we did have that. Is it in the topics list from... Didn't you have another topics list, maybe? No.
Oh, I found it. It's Would You Rathers and Keep, Refurbish, Demolish. I'm going to move it to the topics tab. It's for some reason where I have like all the links to social media.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how it got there or why, but now it's in the topics. I think these are the ones that we haven't done. Because we took off the ones that we did that one time.
Okay. You said it's on the topics tab?
Yeah, it's on the topics sheet now.
Bless you.
Oh, thank you. Jeez, I'm stupid. I pulled my headset off to try to like keep that from picking up, and I have my mic sitting here recording everything. Oh man, that was great.
Ooh, let's do. Man, I like all of Brian's names for these. Let's do the opening day attractions. That one's fun. Should probably preface this since all of that was edited out. We're gonna throw some Keep, Refurbish, Demolishes and maybe a Would You Rather in there, just so we have some other stuff to talk about.
Okay, sorry. Am I stupid? I still am not seeing where these things are at.
All the way at the end of the topics sheet.
That sneeze did something to you, Brian.
No, I think I lost part of my brain there. Okay, I got it now.
I hope we haven't done these already. Because I feel like some of them sound familiar.
Nobody will remember.
Yeah, if we don't,
Someone's
then they're
gonna
not
call
going.
us out on it.
Yeah, probably. Oh well. Maybe our answers will change and it'll just show how we've developed since the last time we talked about it. So which one or ones shall we do?
I was liking the, as Brian put it, let's get classical, keep, refurbish, demolish, Dumbo, Peter Pan's Flight, and Enchanted Tiki Room.
Wow.
I feel like this may cause some arguments.
I have my answer.
Go ahead.
Me too.
I would say keep Dumbo, refurbish Enchanted Tiki Room, and demolish Peter Pan's Flight.
If you try to bring back Under New Management, I'm going to fight you.
I'm not going to try to bring back Under New Management, though I do think that it's not quite as bad as everyone said it was. I watched a video of it. While it's not great, I don't think it's terrible. But I think when I say refurbish, I would just want to like give it a little polish, maybe fix a couple of those animatronics.
That's fair.
Dumbo, refurbish Peter Pan's Flight, demolish.
Wow.
I'm not a big fan of Tiki Room.
Oh man.
The birds.
It's the best part.
I know. That's
the only part.
It has one of my favorite Disney puns in it.
Which one is that?
The boys in the back are called macaws.
No, because of their claws.
No, because of the paws.
I am gonna keep the Tiki Room.
That was such a loud like.
I mean,
are we surprised that
like opposite opinions on everything?
I was gonna refurbish Dumbo, but I'm tearing it down now.
Whoa. Kirsten, are you still there? Did you quit?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to ignore.
Oh no. Did you say Mario?
I did not, and I'm really thinking about this one.
Did Brian finish?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm gonna refurbish Peter Pan's Flight then.
Oh, obvious. Sorry, I'm like
process of elimination there.
I really want to keep the Tiki Room, but after Beth was like, just polish up some of the animatronics, I'm thinking that maybe I would do that. So let's go refurbish Tiki Room. Oh, and this is really hard.
You're struggling.
This is really hard because I don't hate Peter Pan's Flight, but I think it's that I don't hate Peter Pan's Flight's queue.
Yeah.
So let's say keep Dumbo, demolish Peter Pan.
Yep. Same page.
Yeah, I'm gonna follow suit there. I have to say, Brian was on a roll when he named all of these.
Yeah, these are really catchy names. Maybe you should do the show notes from now on.
This is from a while ago. I remember this was obviously still when Stitch's Great Escape was open. So
right.
Wow, it's like a look back into the past.
So, I don't know if this is wrong to talk about someone else's podcast on this show, but speaking of Stitch's Great Escape, I don't know if you guys listen. I know Brian and I have talked about Rob Plays a couple times, but do you listen to his podcast?
I didn't know he had a podcast.
He does. It's called the Tomorrowland Transit Authorities.
Oh wow, I'll have to check that out.
They did a show, and he was talking about I forget what the topic of the conversation was, but they were talking about Stitch's Great Escape and like retheming it, and he brought up the brilliant idea to retheme it to Incredibles and make it the scene from Incredibles 2 with Jack and Edna, but instead of Stitch like escaping, it's literally Jack escaping and using all of his powers, because that would be less frightening. And I like ever since then I've been thinking about that. I'm like, okay, this needs to be a thing now. I mean, he goes a little more in depth into it, but
I'll have to give it a listen because I love his YouTube channel.
It's him and another Disney YouTuber. I can't remember who it is, but it's pretty good. I'll cut all that since we don't need to talk about that on here. I don't know. Is there any other ones that you guys see on here that you want to do?
I think we should do the boat rides.
Yeah, let's do boat rides. Pirates, Small World, or Grand Fiesta Tour? Keep, demolish, refurbish.
This one's super easy for me.
For
too.
demolish, or because I'm thinking
For
demolish
all of
Grand
it.
Fiesta Tour is like.
I'm thinking keep Pirates, refurbish Grand Fiesta Tour as Coco themed, and get rid of the Small World. Like,
Literally my exact answer.
What's wrong with you people?
Man, I'm on Kirsten's side with this one. Like,
Man, this is a 50-50 split here, huh?
I don't know. I don't know what Kirsten's side is. Are you mad that they're demolishing Small World? Because
Of course.
that's kind of where I'm at. Okay, so we are 50-50 split.
I would. It's a Small World, refurbish Pirates, and demolish Grand Fiesta Tour.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. Wow, that was really 50-50.
But if you retheme it to Coco, it would be so cool.
I just love It's a Small World so much. It's like our 3 rides that we always do for my mother-in-law are Dumbo, Teacup, Small World. And so I like have a serious attachment to those 3 rides. Like before that, I never cared. And like now we did our nursery, It's a Small World / Mary Blair themed. So
you really have a special attachment.
yes.
I see.
I don't know how you ride it every time.
I know, like I respect it for all of the history it has behind Disney, but
Well,
that's where I'm at.
Basically what I do when I'm on it. So one of my roommates, that Allie, the one who was in the live show, hi Allie, she's like terrified of It's a Small World because like of the creepy little children. And so I basically spend the entire ride like finding the old ones with the jewel eyes that are really freaky looking, and like filming them in slow-mo and sending it to her on Snapchat just to So that really is how I entertain myself while I'm actually on the ride.
Yeah, man. Small World is like a every 4 or 5 trips for me kind of ride.
Yeah, see, I think the reason that I can't bring myself to say demolish it is because of the history. Like, I like it for that reason.
yeah. I just realized I don't think I have been on It's a Small World since I moved to Florida. So,
Oh, wow.
Wow.
How long have you lived there?
History.
over 2 years
fantasy
now.
room, blah, blah, blah. But then you want to demolish Small World.
Yeah, it seems justified to me.
Seems justified. What about stage shows?
Ooh.
I mean, I think that might be an easy one too.
Keep Finding Nemo, refurbish Beauty and the Beast, demolish Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Yeah, something's got to be done with Beauty and the Beast.
It's amazing. They don't need to get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be updated to be kind of more like the live action and help tie it in and bring some more relevance back to it.
Yeah, that would be
You're
cool.
talking about relevance to Hollywood studios?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You can have your reception on the stage there if you get married at Disney World.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that
To,
once.
like, come up to the stage at the top of the stairs and like walk down.
So can you say your choices again, Kirsten?
Keep Finding Nemo, refurbish Beauty and the Beast, demolish Little Mermaid.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Wow, that was easy.
Yeah.
Let's do a Would You Rather because we haven't done that one, and we can tie it up with that. Oh, I like the last one on this list for Would You Rather, which is go back in time to opening day or go 50 years into the future to see what Disney's like then.
I feel like my answer was obvious at first, and then I started thinking about it, and now I can't pick.
Yeah, Walt's dead. Could we go back to if I could go back to Disneyland on opening day just to meet Walt, I would. But if I can't meet Walt, then I'm gonna go in the future.
Well, yeah, let's say that then.
So go back in time to Disneyland on opening day?
Well, pick either one.
I would go to Disneyland to meet Walt.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's an option, that's what I'm going to pick. The thing is that, like, I hope to still be alive in 50 years. So if it were more like 100 years in the future, that would be more enticing.
That's true.
So 100 years into the future or back to Disneyland on opening day?
Disneyland on opening day, yes. Disney, if it's between Disney World on opening day and 100 years in the future, then I pick the future.
I don't know. I kind of think that it would be interesting to see Disney World on opening day too. I mean, obviously you're not going to get to see Walt or hear any of that, like the Disneyland dedication speeches and stuff like that. But
I like Roy's speech too. It's very nice. Makes me
I think it would be cool. Like, I think just because I have such an attraction to this park, I would
attraction.
I think that might, like, I don't know. I think I would probably go back to Disney World on opening day if we kept this the original way, but Disneyland would be cool too.
So what would you hope to see in the parks if you went 100 years in the future?
Tomorrowland.
Like the movie Tomorrowland?
Yes, the movie Tomorrowland. Sorry. But also the land Tomorrowland. I'd be very interested to see how that gets interpreted.
100 years in the future, I hope that in 50 years someone discovers this podcast. Here's our episode about our own parks. Here's my idea about having a Tower of Terror park and build that.
That's awesome.
I was remembering our group chat and not the episode, and I was like, oh no, if she says someone hears our episode about parks and builds a share park, I was like, here we go.
I mean, that would work too, but I personally think the 5 Towers of Terror, each one taller than the next, and then if you ride them all, you get to stay in the hotel, is a great idea.
Towers of Terror. Oh goodness.
Oh man.
I don't know. If I would just be interested to see what classic attractions are still there, and if Disney's gone more IP based and lost all of the original ideas, because that's my biggest fear.
That is really interesting. I wasn't thinking about that at all. I was thinking like what kind of new technology would be there, but yeah, I would love to see how many opening day attractions were left.
Because if you really think about it, I mean, it's weird to think about like how 100 years is a lot more than where we're at from opening day of Magic Kingdom. So like, if you think about the timeline from then to now, it's not really that much time, but 100 years from now versus, that time it's a lot more time. So to have an attraction that's been there since opening day in 100 years is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I also, like I said, I kind of want to see if any of the like original idea attractions are there, or the non-IP based ones, or if Disney's even doing that anymore, because we've talked about this a couple times. They don't really do original ideas anymore. and the ones that they have are all pretty much like, you know, classic attractions. So if they go, is that going to be the end of the original idea attractions?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, we see so very few original IP rides getting developed.
I'm just hoping that like D23 2019, someone comes out on the stage and says, we've built an attraction around an original IP that's never been seen before, and it's not something they're planning to do in a movie. And I know it's not going to happen, but like I keep hoping every time D23 rolls around that someone comes out and says that.
I keep hoping that once Bob Iger leaves, it'll happen.
It's very possible.
But I don't know. I like to imagine this is all his doing, but I also know that's not really true.
Well, I was thinking about this the other day. I was really thinking about this the other day. And if you think about the rides that have the longest wait times, they're all IP based, which, I mean, that also says that they're, you know, obviously they're the newer rides and everything too, but the ones that have the original ideas or the ones that, you know, aren't based off of a movie are typically not that long of a wait time. So to me, that itself says that the IPs sell, and that's what Disney needs.
Really?
Well,
I mean, I think that the ones the ones that are original have pretty long wait times if you correct for something being brand new. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I think Tower of Terror is an interesting case because I think it really is, for some reason, scarier to people than Rock and Roller Coaster. So it does have a shorter wait time than that. But even Rock and Roller Coaster isn't based on like a movie or something. And then I would say Haunted Mansion is definitely a well-loved classic and has a decent line for not being a thrill ride. I mean, Space Mountain is not based on any IP.
That's true.
And Pirates is not, I mean, Pirates was the original IP, you know, for the movie.
I mean, I always think about the ones in Magic Kingdom. I mean, I didn't really think about the Rock and Roller Coaster or Tower of Terror, but thinking about like the ones in Magic Kingdom, I've always seen them at fairly low wait times. And if not, like if there is a rush for them, everything else also has a rush too. But that's a good point that they've been there long enough that people have had their chance to ride them and all that.
Yeah, like, and even Soarin', I mean, and
that's also true.
About what it is now, but what it was, I mean, and it consistently has like insane wait times. I think Mission Space would have longer wait times if they hadn't had the whole like death thing, orange is terrifying, blah blah, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. What about you guys? What would you be interested to see if you didn't already say?
I guess I would just be curious to see if the whole theme park was, I mean, the whole idea behind the theme park was laid out the same way. Are you waiting in line to go on, you know, on attractions, or is it more of a, I don't know, free roaming kind of like virtual reality experience or something along those lines, you know?
I can only imagine what the technology will be like by then.
Mm-hmm.
By that time, no one will actually go to Disneyland. It'll all be VR Disneyland.
I actually read this series of books that takes place in the future, and space travel is common, and so they talk about Disney Planet in the books.
Oh, huh.
That's pretty cool.
Sorry, someone just sent us a message, and I just realized that. Okay, at least I'm not the only one that's distracted by that.
Message where?
Facebook, and this is like right up Kristen's alley because they're asking about Disney Etsy and Instagram shops.
Oh, nice.
But she wants us to do an episode on that.
We should.
I can agree to that. But yeah, is there anything you guys want to talk about before we tie this up? I know we have one listener correspondence in here that I wanted to talk about, or iTunes review, really.
Just if anybody listening has any ideas for would you rather keep, refurbish, demolish, or superlatives at any point, send them our way because we're always looking.
Yeah, and it's funny because like I think we've kind of like we've backed away from this a little bit because for a while we were doing this a lot and we were like, do people actually even like this? And then it was like either during the live show or after the live show, everybody was like, you guys should do more superlatives.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we like doing them and it's fun to, you know, have people tell us what they want to hear because, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, so before we go, I always like to kind of acknowledge iTunes reviews or emails or stuff that have come in. I've been kind of sitting on this one because I keep forgetting to check iTunes. But we had a iTunes review from Disney on iTunes. It said, Mario, Kirsten, Beth, and Brian share their Disney opinions every week with new and fun content. I look forward to another great year of fun-filled podcasting. Thank you guys for sharing your love of Disney with the world. So yeah, thank you. That was very nice. Very good 5-star review. Super happy with that one.
Yeah.
It wasn't another 3-star telling us that we need to talk about children more.
Which we haven't done at all.
I'm still bitter about that.
I know, me too. Remember when that was the thing that came out and then you just kept bringing up that you have a child because you were bitter? Never forget that. At least once an episode, Kirsten would drop that, and I have a child.
As a mother.
That was fun.
I was kind of excited, man. That's when you know you hit it big, is when you got critics, you know. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Side note: we have not hit it big, guys. I'm just joking.
I mean, we have fans in New Zealand.
You're right.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I think that's big enough.
Shout out to Emma.
So since I think we're done, I'm going to pull up that Joe Rohde thing again and send it to you guys.
Okay.
Because,
Can I stop recording now?
yeah, that's fine. I'm going to stop recording too.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you look at the contact page on his website that I'm going to send you, it literally says, note about unsolicited ideas. Please do not send Disney-related proposals. They will be deleted without being read. And, like, big, bold letters. And there's a paragraph about, like, how he can't talk about Disney, and this is his personal page. And, yeah.
You know, I'm so surprised he even puts it out there for people to contact him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he must get 1 billion.
I mean, it's a publicist, so I can imagine that it's going to be filtered before it gets to him. But
True.
even the fact that he would put his publicist's email or website on his website is kind of
It's crazy.
bizarre. I also feel like he's not as big as we think he is.
Yeah, that's also true. He has like less followers than some of the Disney influencers.
I follow
That's
this.
weird.
I really wanted to talk about this on the show, but like it's weird to me to talk about people. But this one person I follow on Twitter was making like I guess a jab at people that are like the Disney influencers, and he was like, I could be an influencer of anything, and he was like, I could become a sparkling water influencer. And this company actually like reached out to him and was like, do you want to really be an influencer for us?
Wow.
Wow. Yep. Someone that needs their ego stroked got it stroked.
I mean,
Fantastic.
it was more of like they were making a jab at the Disney influencer people. So it was kind of like a funny thing. But They got a sponsorship through Spindrift Sparkling Water.
Oh my God, Spindrift! Sorry,
Yeah.
I researched one of my projects that's ongoing for work is sparkling water. So I'm like, know all about the brands. I go to like conferences for sparkling water, and ugh.
I like a lot of sparkling water, but Spindrift was not good.
Yeah,
to me.
nobody in our office likes Spindrift except for one person. I don't drink sparkling water. Have you tried Waterloo? It should be available at Whole Foods.
I'll have to go
And
check
the
it
new
out.
one is the Pepsi Bubbly, of course.
Pepsi Bubbly?
Oh,
Yeah,
I've seen
Pepsi has
those.
a new one, and the brand is Bubbly.
Oh.
We're counting on to kill LaCroix. We want LaCroix to die.
Why do you want LaCroix to die?
Because we're hoping their stock goes down. We have a stake in them going down.
People actually drink LaCroix.
I drink certain
Pretentious people.
I was about to say,
stop.
I thought that was for like stuck up white people.
Have you
to,
ever
like,
looked-
make them feel like they're better than other people?
Look at the hashtag on Twitter, LaCroix tastes like, and it is
Oh
amazing.
my
It is
God.
so funny. Like sometimes I am like, whenever I'm quote unquote researching, I'll just spend a few minutes on Twitter reading that because it makes me laugh.
Okay, well, I like sparkling water because it's like drinking water, but a little bit more interesting.
Nastier.
And I only like certain kinds. Like for LaCroix, they have like instead of regular size can, like the flavors that come in regular cans, they have ones that are like tall.
The tall cans, yeah, that's
And-
a big seller.
Huh?
Yeah, that's a big seller.
Those because they're the only good ones.
Oh my gosh, Kirsten, this hashtag.
I know, it's like it tastes like a fruit spit in your water that you left on your nightstand overnight. Like
LaCroix tastes like the free trial of Fanta.
Oh my
Fruit
God.
that has amnesia.
they're really funny. Like it will entertain y'all. No, this is like kind of related. I mentioned having a Mary Blair nursery. This page that I follow on Facebook.
Sorry, I was looking at this hashtag. LaCroix tastes like someone ate a fruit salad and then burped in your water bottle.
They're so funny. But no, I follow this. It's like for these gender neutral kid clothes that have like cute sayings like I'm feminist like daddy and I don't know, all this stuff. And so they posted a couple weeks ago, like, did anybody have a gender neutral nursery because they like didn't want gender stereotypes or gender roles to influence their baby? And if you did, message us. Somebody's writing an article. So I sent them a message and I was like, oh, we did. Like, we didn't find out the sex because we didn't want a bunch of pink and blue and I don't like gender roles, blah, blah. And we did our nursery based on like Mary Blair, It's a Small World, because we go to Disney every year and, you know, it's really important to us. And so I didn't expect anything to really happen. A ton of people commented, but this guy emailed me and he's like an actual staff journalist for the New York Times.
What?
Oh, wow.
So he's like sending